wearing similar kits like opponent team. And then the power balance becomes different. Because you can't see referees wearing the same team, the same color with the other team. So it means, consolidates this other team and other official. So that is what you're exposing to. That is what you're exposed to. Those are the issues on bargaining. And the other issue that is very critical, program director, is the issue of outsourcing and insourcing. We will reflect on this particular matter. On two, there was a commitment to begin a process of insourcing, which was made around 2009 by MTSF, and in 22 by public sector agreements, and at a later stage consolidated by the ANC manifesto. When you visit that manifesto of 2014, you'll see it spoke extensively about the insourcing, but that never found expression on the ground. Because as we speak now, we'll just try to demonstrate. When you check, for instance, in education, we'll talk to education, talk to policing and health, for instance. When you check on health, the issue of fleet and transport, it's outsourced. When you check the issue of healthcare and risk waste, it's also outsourced. Whereas at the same time we said we need to outsource so that we have the better and job for individuals. The issue of laundry with health is also outsourced. How do we ensure that we arrive at that particular contents of manifesto of 2014 and other related agreements on that? When you check on policing, guarding of government buildings, building maintenance, vehicle fleet management, vehicle pounding, information technology services, gardening, catering and laundry, provision of prisoners' meals, all those are outsourced. How do we ensure that? Because, outsourcing actually says it's another way of continuous, casualization. And then there's no permanent job. When you go to education as well, we are observing a number of issues there. The in-service teacher training, it's one area. That is a problem. Development of curriculum and learning material. Who are the role players there? Even those people who are delivering the very same, they are less participating. They are just given to say, this is what you must do. Their contribution. So how do we ensure that we strengthen the bargaining councils to actually ensure that it deals with such issues? Training of school managers and governors. It's an outsourced exercise. How do you ensure that it is? It doesn't mean before then there wasn't any capacity to ensure that. Hence, Madam Speaker, we are saying how do we ensure part of challenge you are confronted is how to ensure that the state capacity is increased so that it addresses issues that are confronting the society. So that is very critical. Facilitation of school improvement and institutional rationalization processes. Those areas of functionality are also outsourced. How do you ensure? Those are some of the project management and conducting of adult basic education. Those are some of the issues that are also outsourced. And it was at larger because the higher echelons. And also, there are unnecessary individuals in the bureaucracy. How do you ensure that? So that we have equal distribution. How do you ensure that all unnecessary, functions in terms of bureaucracy are dealt with so that we don't, the expenditure. Because there is this saying that is confronting public sector, which in public sector is bloated, the wage bill, it's big and whatever. But nobody has actually told any forum. When we say public sector, what is the size in actual fact of public sector? Scientifically speaking, can anybody stand up and say this should be the size of public sector? There's nothing of that nature. Because even in smaller and emerging economies and middle class and middle earning economies, we have public sector that is bigger. When we talk about, for instance, when you check in Norway, if I'm not mistaken, and another country, I just forgot it, where they are predominantly a welfareist system of governance. Precisely 30% of that country, it is public sector, because it mitigates and its independence from a welfare kind of an approach, because currently we are gradually heading to that a welfare state because of employment and other related matters. So we are speaking on those, the issue of, and then we are proposing some of the issues here to say, look into the issue of wealth tax. How do you ensure that those who are wealthy are taxed? How do you ensure that, for instance, in 1994, corporate tax was around 58. How do you ensure that that one is improved in terms of SARS operations? That is what we are looking. And also review the personal, like we spoke on it, the review of the personal tax is also key, because there are those who should pay more than others are paying. And because poor people are paying tax almost every day through VAT, which was increased. When you go to a shop, when you go 10 times, you're going to pay tax 10 times. So that is the scenario. How do you ensure that we restructure our tax base and ensure that it serves the purpose that it should serve, in terms of ensuring that it emancipates the people? And in closing, one honorable member, Honorable Jerry Muneri, raised the issue of a caring society. So we are leaving this particular forum with, is it possible to actually have a caring society in a capitalist trajectory? So that is the question that we need to answer in our own corners. And maybe when we meet next time, we are aware and say, no, it's possible to create a caring society in a capitalist mode of production. Thank you, Honorable Program Director and Speaker.
Thank you very much. The fourth one, the floor is yours, sir. Honorable Member.
Mangithathele lithuba ngibulise as an Africa month zothetha or ngizokhuluma isiZulu. Ngibulise uprogram director, ngibulise nendlu yonke kanye nomama osiphethe owuspikara.
Yeah, no, we are sorting out.
Okay, ngiyabonga. Angeke ngibe mude kangaka phakathi endlini. Igama lami nguThepho, isibongo nguHlaluko. Ngi-deputy chairperson ye-province eNupso. Into engizoyikhuluma lana nje kuphela ukuthi besicela lapha endlini mama, njoba usibizile ukuthi sizokhulumisana singama union. Into esiyidingayo sidinga nje kuphela ukuthi kube nokusebenzisana no government wethu kanye nama private sector. One, esiyiphethe thina siyiNupso, sikhuluma nge-department lokuthiwa i-Police Road and Transport. La kuna khona ama-security angana-uniform, sithi sicela babanikeze i-uniform. Siphinde sithi number 2, sikhulume ngema-CSW as a NUPSO. Sidinga ama-CSW we-province yonke lena kuyi-Free State, babaqashe permanently so. Njengoba wathembisa umama uPremier abathetha abayise Bethlehem nge-2018 athi bazawuqashwa permanently so, but since namanje bakaqashwa siphuma ukuyopiketa laphana e-ofisini lakhe asikakatholi ngisho nempendulo e-right eyodwa. 3, Police Road and Transport again. I-maintenance yase Police Road and Transport, ama-building abo afile wonke, awasebenzi, mara abasebenzi baqhubeka balokhu basebenza kuleso simo esinjalo. kunganagezi kunganamanzi kule COVID esikuyo le sidinga ukuthi nje kubonakala ukuthi ngempela lento esizele la izokwenzeka speaker. 4 kunama security abawina icase phila ikhona la eBloemfontein Narsog old age 8 manje. Number 6 Mediclinic nebusamed sidinga ababhadala abantu kahle abababhadali kahle kunobandlululo elikhona nako khona lapho kulezo indawo. Number 7 iSerenic abatho la sizwa khona ukuthi kunomunyo olapha phezulu lapha khona la eParliamenteni unama shares lapho but abantwana babantu abaholi lapho akuna danger allowance akuna i-medical scheme akuna sisho i-transport allowance uma bangaphula izinto lapha kuthiwa ziyabhadalwa le machine le ingaphuka kuthiwa kubhadala abasebenzi and akusiyinto eright leyo ngoba siyazi ukuthi yonke into ekhona lapha i-inshoriwe. Masibuya manje sikhuluma nabo ngendaba zokuthi baphakamisela abasebenzi imali basitshela nge-national minimum wage bona njengekhampani akunamali abayifakayo basitshela nge-national minimum wage. Sicela bazilungise because labo bantu abanayo ngisho ne-provident fund. Number 8 sibuyele ku-PRT ama-cleaners akhona since baqala ukusebenza abanye bebabasusa ku-public works babaletha ngapha baba-adopt since bahlele leveleni A1 ulevel 2 sicabanga ukuthi nabo bayadeserva ngoba bayenza leya ndawo ihlale inukelela kamnandi bayadeserva ukuthi baphakanyiselwe ama-level abo. Siyacela ukuthi lendlu lena ake isincede njoba sesicalile si-engage kanje sicela sincedisane mangibonge.
The 5th one.
Thank you, Program Director. Thank you, honorable members. I must say I'm very fortunate to come here and stand representing workers. I'm a shop steward from the plant level. My name is Siabata John. I'm from NUMSA. Honorable members, I'm rising on one point because many speakers who came before me, they have demonstrated our position as SAFTU delegates. But I'm raising one point which I think is a critical issue, which is a burning issue. And I think our leadership are listening very careful to what I'm going to express, because it's indeed a very painful chapter that I'm going to open. Leadership, we are appealing to the Free State leadership to listen to the workers. There's an issue of transport. Majority, I think it's a common cause, honorable members, that Free State is one of the provinces that is above with unemployment. It's one of the provinces which is above with poverty. I'm raising this issue today, comrades. I'm sorry, honorable members, to say we have a very serious challenges. We do not have any alternative transport here in Bloemfontein, in Free State in particular. There's been an issue which has been discussed. We have been told that the government will intervene in trying to bring the municipal buses or the government transport as an alternative, because we do not have any alternative, but we are compelled to use interstate. The pity part is that the interstate is being subsidized by the government, but interstate is increasing its tariffs every year. Even now, there's a notice from Interstate that they are going to increase the tariffs. Hence, on the other side, the workers are not getting increase. There's a standstill, there's a 0% from the employers. I want to raise this point to say to our leadership, let us prioritize the workers' needs, because we indeed came here with the mandate of the workers. We want to appeal to the leadership to say, we've been told by the leadership to say they are going to be an alternative for transport. But instead, there's only transport which we are using as transport which is interstate. And interstate is increasing every month, leadership. We want to appeal to the leadership to provide the workers with alternative transport which can be affordable and cheaper to the working class and the poor. Because it's a common cause in Free State, we are poor comrades. Everyone knows about that fee. And I'm hoping that the leadership are listening to us, because this mandate are coming from the workers and the poor comrades to say we need an alternative transport. We must not be compelled to use only interstate, but there must be alternative, like in other provinces where they have the BRT. There's a train as an alternative. But here in Bloemfontein, we've been told that there's going to be a train, there's going to be a municipal buses. But so far, we are still waiting for those transport. We don't know what is happening. Because in the previous, we have seen buses coming to the airport, which we have been told that they are municipal buses. But where are they now? We don't know. But our position as SAFTU delegate is that we are making a clarion call to the government to prioritize the workers and the poor in providing an alternative transport which can be affordable to us all comrades. So that is our position as SAFTU delegates, to say, government, let prioritize the alternative transport. So I cannot go any further because of the speakers who came before me. They have expressed our position. And I thank you all, honorable members. Thank you.
The last affiliate from SAFTU.
Thank you, Program Director. And good afternoon. Program Director, I'm actually not going to be long because most of the affiliates, they have spoken, and I think their voices are heard. But what we want to put on top from the mandate...
Identity, please.
Oh, I was coming to that. I'm Felicity Lekete, the Interim Deputy Secretariat of SAFTU, standing here on behalf of SAFTU, just to give one point to the House, Madam Speaker. SAFTU is appealing to Parliament to create regulations that demand the enforcement of its laws, like the Labour Relations Act, in which collective bargain council and collective agreements are entrenched. It's a product of Parliament. Parliament must therefore protect it as a transformatory piece of legislature. We just wanted that to be on record. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
No, I think we still have the last one. It was only just an addition from the main presentation done by SAFTU. So the last affiliate from SAFTU is the one coming.
Thank you, House Chairperson. My name is Leshohonolo Nyatanyane. I'm from South African Police Union. So, Chairperson, you don't have to police my time. I will police it myself.
No, you can't be a player and a referee at the same time. So someone must police. Remember, we are dealing with accountability at the legislature.
Yes, I was just saying to demonstrate that we still have effective policing. So I will police my own time. It's a pity, Chairperson, that the MEC of Finance is no longer with us here, but I hope through you and the Madam Speaker, the message will be conveyed. I heard the MEC talk about investment and infrastructure and all of those things. When she was speaking about investment, attracting international investors and building the economy through infrastructure development, I wanted to raise the matter of Park Road Police Station with her. This is the largest police station in Free State, which has been under renovation from 2017. It is still under renovation even today. It will still be under renovation even next year. Now, how do you attract investment in a province where the largest police station has been under renovation for close to a decade? The first thing that the investors want to hear is how safe is your province? What is the level of crime? Now, the workers at that police station are demoralized. Every day somebody is demolishing a wall, the other one is building here, then there's earth-moving equipment all over the place. Even the station management doesn't know when will the project be completed. I know SAPS is not a provincial competency speaker, but the police station is operating in your province, so somebody from Public Works or from SAPS National Office must account. Even the construction is not supposed to last for a decade, let alone a renovation. A renovation is a touch-up here and there. It can take a decade. Another thing is the state of our roads. We say we want to attract investments, but when those investors arrive and the workers have to commute to work, on what roads are we going to commute? We don't have roads in Free State. In Free State, we've got potholes on every road. When you try to avoid, you can't even avoid the potholes. It's just a matter of choosing which one to fall into. You can't avoid them. You just have to park a little bit and say, this one looks better than that one, let me drive into this one. Because that is the state of our roads. Chairperson, in end of June this year, I'm going to renew my license disc. When I renew the disc, they say I must renew that disc every year to pay for the roads that I use. For my car to travel on these roads, I must pay the disc every year. I'm going to pay 500 and something at the end of June. 2 weeks later, I'm going to pay 900 rand to buy a new tire because my car will be damaged by the very same road that I paid for. That is the state that we are living under, Madam Speaker, as workers. With the little money that we get, we renew the disc today to pay for the road. 2 weeks later, you have to fix the car because it is damaged by the same road that we are paying for. When we are lucky, your vehicle will get damaged by the road. At worst, you might even die as a worker commuting to work because of the state of our roads. So we need government to please come to our level, work with the workers, try to check the conditions under which we work. The workers of this country are already under stress from the employers and all other living conditions. The least we want to be stressed with is small things like fixing a pothole here and there. Then another one, very critical. As workers, I think all of us are united as federations and trade unions in the fight against casualization and exploitation of workers. Madam Speaker, we don't expect the government to be in the forefront of exploiting workers. We don't expect the government to be in the forefront of casualizing workers. We have had EPWP workers. These EPWP workers you don't know whether they are casual workers or permanent workers. Initially, it was said EPWP workers would work for 6 months or 12 months, then they will find permanent employment for them, blah, blah, blah. Then you find the same person has been EPWP worker for 3 years, then the other one has disappeared, then there are internships at government departments, an intern is there for 12 months, then they disappear, there comes another intern, then they disappear. I hope, Madam Speaker, next year when we converge here again, the MEC of Finance will account to us and say, tell us exactly how many interns have we had in the Free State from whenever the project was started. How many interns have we had? How many do we have currently? What budget have we used so far for the interns? Those that have exited the system, where are they now? Can we trace them? Are they absorbed by government departments? Are they absorbed by municipalities? If not, if they are still out there, where out there are they? What are they doing? The same with EPWP workers. Those that have exited the system, where are they now? Then the other one that the comrades touched on is collective bargaining system, which is under attack by the very same government that must protect it. The government reneged on the 2018 resolution, just like that. And the mistake that we made as workers of all federations, the mistake that we made when the government reneged on the agreement was that the federations rushed to court to hold government to account. We shot ourselves in the foot by rushing to court. There's one union that I like, Madam Speaker, SAMU. You know what SAMU does? They don't have time to rush to court, CCMA, blah, 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 blah. Bakala matlagala strati. Maspala wa fachelet. Just like that. Now the public sector unions, they went to court. They went to court to negotiate salaries. You don't negotiate salaries in court. Never. That is the very mistake that we made. Because when you go to court, a judge will issue a judgment. Once a judgment is issued, you have to comply with the judgment. If you don't comply with the judgment, then you are in contempt of court. Once you go there, you bind yourself for whatever the outcome, I will abide by it. Then you come back and the outcome is not satisfactory. Then what do? You have lost. You have failed your members. So all the federations, we must guard against that. What the federations should have done was to come back to the workers and lead us to the picket line. We would be having our salaries now and the salary increments and everything. Not a judge telling us that, no, government says it doesn't have money, then finish and laugh. Meanwhile, the government has not presented its balance sheet and the bank statements to the judge. The judge just says, the government doesn't have money, go home. And then we are bound to comply with the judgment. Now, we need to redefine the future of collective bargaining system. It is in our interest that we redefine the future of collective bargaining system and recalibrate it. There's one thing that I find very interesting and very progressive. Now we've got 2 unions from 2 different federations. They are camping at union buildings. They demand 1,000 salary increment Finish and klar. They don't want 4%, 7%, whatever percent. They want 1,000 rand salary increment. 2 unions from 2 federations. Now the employer is in the corner, in a tight corner. Under normal circumstances, the employer would say, we are offering 4% or 5%. The employer is now dancing to the tune of the unions. The unions say 1,000 rand, employer is saying 850. For the first time, the employer is negotiating salaries in monetary terms, not in percentages. So that thing is very progressive. You know why I say it is progressive? When there's an increase in electricity, they will say 1 unit of electricity is going to increase by 123 cents. They don't say 0.4% or whatever. When next week, when petrol is increasing, they say it will increase by 3 rand, finish and klar. They don't say 0.7%. But now why are we paid in percentages? When we don't work for percentages, we work for money. Why is it difficult to say I'm going to pay you, give you a salary increment of 1,200 or 1,500? If Sibanye Stillwater has fallen into the trap or has taken the bait, they are no longer negotiating in percentages. Sibanye Stillwater now is saying we are offering 850. We must push all the unions, the government included, all the employers, the government included, to negotiate in monetary terms going forward. If we do that, we will not have this reneging of agreements by employers. Government is the largest employer in this country. So if the largest employer has the audacity to renege on a collective agreement, what about the other smaller employers? They are going to follow suit. So from now on, we need to redefine the future of collective bargaining system and say we negotiate in monetary terms. NUMSA did it last week at ArcelorMittal. They negotiated 6% salary increment and they said we want 5,000 rand cash gratuity. The employer agreed. As simple as that. So this thing of 4% inflation, what related, no. Let's do away with that. Let's do away with that. We are working for money, we demand money, finish and klar. The employer doesn't agree, we go to the picket line. We